Today on Hands on Tech, I have a gamer's microphone that's, hey, anybody can use it, quite frankly. So I want to run through all of the different specs, the ins and outs and the how-tos. And yeah, this is going to be fun. So let's talk about some audio.
This is TWiT.
This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Casper. You deserve a fresh start this year. Reset your rest with supremely comfortable mattresses, bedding, and more from Casper. Go to casper.com/twit1 and use code TWIT1 for $100 off select mattresses. Well, hello everybody. I am Pruitt and this is Hands on Tech here on TWiT TV. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm unbelievable as always. I wanted to do something a little different for you folks here watching Hands on Tech, and I want to take a look at some microphones coming up here the next couple weeks or so, because if we've learned anything from the year 2020, getting solid video, getting solid lighting, getting solid audio really does make a difference in our day-to-day lives, especially since most of us are doing a lot of virtual working at home and virtual content creation and things of that nature. So I want to take a look at a couple microphones, but I'm just going to talk about one in particular today. And then in the future episode, I have another microphone that I'd like to share with you all. But today's subject matter will be the folks from Kingston and their HyperX QuadCast S microphone that's ideally marketed towards the gaming folks. All right, so if you don't know much about HyperX, they deal primarily with the folks that like to do Twitch and the folks that like to do their YouTube live streaming for playing their video games and things of that nature. They have a whole bunch of different products. They have headphones, they have the microphones, of course, they have keyboards, and it's all RGB'd up. You know, that's what the gamers like to show off and just use for all of their beautiful content. Well, I'm not a gamer, but I still think that their products will have value for me as someone that's a content creator and as someone that works from home that still wants to have optimal audio for those wonderful Zoom conferences that we have come to just so love. I know, right? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this mic. As you can see here on my screen, this is a beautiful RGB lit microphone that has an outstanding looking shock mount here. But when you feel it, it's a different story. I will say that. But when you look at this device, it does look pretty nice. It's connected to your computer via USB, and it has a USB-C jack on that. That's how it's connected. It also has a headphone jack. So if you want to plug in some headphones and monitor yourself while you're speaking into the mic to make sure you're not clipping your audio or make sure your gains are not too low, you have that capability. It also has a mute button right on the top of it that's capacitive. So if you just barely tap it, you'll see on the screen that the mic goes off. That's a way that it's going to mute. It's not turned off, it's just muted. But tap it and it comes right back to life because it's just a capacitive switch. Pretty simple user interface right there. The bottom of it has a gain control to allow you to make sure your voice is just perfectly right with the amplitude and not too low and not too high. And it's just a knob. It's very simple to use. It's a bit of a guide. I don't like the fact that it has a couple of different indicators on the bottom of it. It has 5 different dots just displaying you're going from a quiet volume to a more of a loud volume, but they don't necessarily coincide with the actual distance that you're rotating the knob. I don't think that makes any sense. It's just one of those things you have to nitpick and play with by ear prior to your conference or your live stream or going on air. So just keep that in mind. Let me talk a bit more about the build quality. When you look at it, and when I saw it in the box, I thought, hey, this looks pretty nice. But when I put this microphone in my hands, it surprised me a little bit. It is really, really lightweight. I mean, super lightweight. A lot of plastic design here. So that makes me wonder about, will this thing last? Will this thing take a beating? Well, if you're not a traveling person, which right now most of us are not traveling, this will be perfectly fine for that. In the past, I would have my studio at home and whatnot, but I also had my gear for when I traveled to do gigs, and I had what I call a travel mic, and I wanted to make sure that mic was fairly durable, as well as being able to have optimal audio quality. This one does give you optimal audio quality, but again, I'm a little concerned about the plasticky feel of it. That just one slight little nitpick with me on that. Now, let's get into what matters. The audio. Yes, the audio on this is really, really nice considering the build, considering that it is not a dynamic microphone similar to what we see here on the screen with this Heil PR40. When you're dealing with a dynamic microphone, you're going to be able to cut out a lot more of that ambient sound because it forces you to put more power into it via preamp or using the proximity effect. Like right now, as I get closer to the mic, the amplitude just goes up. Same goes for this particular QuadCast S microphone. I thought it was going to be a little bit more responsive to getting some ambient sound, and it does pick up some ambient sound, but not as bad as I thought it would be. As a matter of fact, I can give you a quick test on what the audio sounds like in comparison to this Heil PR40. Just give me a second to mute this PR40, and then I'll fire up this one here, the QuadCast, just to let you see how it sounds. Okay, so now I am speaking into the QuadCast S microphone, the HyperX QuadCast S microphone. I just want to show off how nice this audio sounds in comparison to the Heil PR40 that I use to record these shows each and every week. I think it sounds pretty good, right? Okay, so now I am speaking into the QuadCast S microphone, the HyperX QuadCast S microphone. I just want to show off how nice this audio sounds in comparison to the Heil PR40 that I use to record these shows each and every week. I think it sounds pretty good, right? This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Casper. Resolutions? You can do them in your sleep. Seriously, 2021 is your chance to rest harder and sleep smarter. And Casper has cool, supportive mattresses and super soft bedding to make it possible. So this year, make your resolutions easy. Only Casper mattresses are made with 86 supportive gel pods to align your spine and eliminate aches and pains. It's the supportive comfort you need to wake up refreshed and ready to go all year long. Get the Wave Hybrid, perfect for people who have aches and pains and want a mattress with maximum support and cooling. For the most plush mattress, check out the Nova Hybrid for a plush feel that doesn't sacrifice support. Or try the most popular Original mattress, the one for sleepers who want both support and cooling. Their best-selling Original Casper pillow is made with a unique pillow and pillow design that's soft on the outside and supportive on the inside for all-night comfort. Casper makes everything you need to refresh your whole bedroom this year, from their super soft percale sheets to their all-season down duvets to their cozy, calming, weighted blankets. Queen Pruitt and I got a Casper mattress last year, and oh my goodness, our sleep is so much better now. As always, Casper offers free shipping and free returns with no contact delivery. Make 2021 comfortable. Reset your rest by going to casper.com/twit1 and use code TWIT1 for $100 off select mattresses. That's code TWIT1 for $100 off select mattresses. Terms and conditions apply. See casper.com for details. Okay, so now we are back to my favorite one here, the Heil PR40. And again, you're going to get different sound depending on the type of microphones that you use. Just it comes down to the build quality, and it comes down to the capsules, and it's a whole lot of engineering that goes into these microphones. So audio quality definitely pretty good on here. I actually was able to do some actual visual testing of the audio files. So let me see if I can share my screen with you here. Pull it up in Adobe Audition, and I have the two waveforms where I recorded simultaneously. This track one, this is actually showing the HyperX QuadCast microphone. This track here is the Heil PR40. And if I play this through, you won't hear much of a difference, just as I did with the example. Hello, this is Aunt Pruitt, and I am currently testing the HyperX QuadCast S USB condenser microphone. Okay, so now let's switch over to the Heil again. This is a microphone that is designed for gamers and live streamers and people that want to do podcast or other voice work from the comfort of their home with the ease of USB. Okay, so again, if you look at the waveform, there's not much difference there. The gain is a little bit lower on this PR40 waveform, but that's something that I could fix prior to recording just by turning a fader. Same thing goes with the HyperX QuadCast. So let's look at the spectral display though. That's where you're really going to see a difference. So we'll take a look at the high PR40 and pull up the spectral display here, like so. Now, that's the waveform at the top. The spectral display gives you all of the frequencies that are being affected. And the key is when you look up here at the top, okay, let's look right there at that top area. Notice that you have a lot of black bleeding through there. That means there's much lower amplitude or no amplitude at all in those areas, in those frequency areas. That's around 20 kilohertz here, okay, 20 kilohertz. And it's fairly black there all the way down to about 10K. I mean, there's still some color bleeding through there, but it's saying, hey, it's picking up pretty clean signal from my voice, my true voice, and not getting a lot of the ambient stuff behind the scenes, like a whirling fan in your room or anything like that. Now, in contrast, let's take a look at the HyperX. Notice the color fills in a lot more. That's again because this is a condenser microphone versus a dynamic microphone. So you have to be wary that you can pick up some ambient sound using this, but it's really not as bad as this could be. That's a benefit because the HyperX comes with 4 different polar patterns. You have the cardioid polar pattern, which is the one that I highly recommend. I don't even think you should bother with the other patterns on this, but the cardioid is going to have some off-axis rejection when speaking into the microphone. You want to speak clearly into the front of the microphone where the logo is, because that's where the capsule is, and it'll reject everything on the other side of it. And you can turn the different patterns to a stereo mode or a bidirectional mode, omnidirectional mode. That all of those will work, but I don't recommend it for doing a virtual conference. I don't recommend it for doing a podcast. I don't recommend it for doing live streaming. You want to use that cardioid where it's only picking up your voice for your audience that's enjoying your content. Okay. So at the time of recording this show, you can get the QuadCast S for $299 online. We'll put some links in the show notes here. You can get it on Amazon or even on the HyperX website, but $299 is what I'm showing at the time of this recording. But they have another model. It's the QuadCast, not the QuadCast S like what this is. The QuadCast is everything that this microphone is minus the RGB lighting on here. The QuadCast only comes with a regular red RGB light, and you can get that one for $199 versus $299. And again, we'll have some links, affiliate links here in our show notes for you to check that out for yourself. All right. Okay, folks, that is it for this week's episode of Hands on Tech. Are you starting to get more into creating your own content and starting your own podcast or starting your own live stream? If so, what are some of the tech that you're using to get yourself rolling and get that content created? Feel free to shoot me a message over on Twitter to let me know what you're working with, or if you have any questions about some other tools and devices that can be used to create your content, such as something like the QuadCast S. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Be sure to check out my other show, Hands on Photography, here on the network. Go over there and subscribe now and get caught up on all of the previous episodes where I'm going to teach you how to be a better photographer and a better post-processor. Until next time, folks, thank you all so much, and we'll see you again here on Hands on Tech. Create and dominate.
Keep up with all the hottest tech news and gadgets. Visit TWiT.tv. There you'll be able to find and subscribe to all our tech shows. Thanks for watching Hands on Tech.